Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Musicians Talk Show podcast. I'm Dallas Dwight, one of your three hosts actually today.
3 today.
Yep.
I'm Matt Tolley. What's going on, guys?
And we have our friend Kyle,
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
and he is returning, the first return guest host.
Repeat offender.
Hey, there you go. I don't know about you, Matt. You sound a little sick. I'm definitely a little sick.
I'm on the backside of it, hopefully. I'm feeling
So,
better, but my throat's a little...
You know, this is, we'll get through this one.
Yeah.
We're both kind of feeling a little...
Flu is going around, I think.
So some sad news in the music world, and this is the first podcast we're doing since it happened that's a talk show format, but Avicii died, and that's sad, but also it's super sad that he was 28.
Right.
So, I mean, what is
I mean, there was
what is
talk
up
about
with
depression and
musicians
whatnot.
dying so young?
It's a weird time, I think, in anybody's life, whether or not you're a musician or not. I think
That's true.
28
That's true.
is a tough time. And the weight of the world kind of, it feels like it's on you. You know, you have to do something with your life or potentially fizzle out. Or So, I don't know. It's just one of those things, man. It's a shame to see him go like that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I know you're not the biggest Avicii fan, and I don't know a lot of his music. I know Wake
Right,
Me
right.
Up, but still, superstar, somewhat of a musical genius definitely a musical
Sure,
genius
sure.
for his compositional abilities and what. I hate when people say like being a DJ isn't a musician. It's like, dude,
There's a lot
No.
to it. There's a lot to it. It's a different thing, but it's
yeah, you can say
a
it's
lot to
different
it.
for sure, but come on.
still something to be respected, I think.
Yeah. Just because you like, I don't know, Iron Maiden
Right.
doesn't mean that, like, do you know how to program a synth in Pro Tools, like, or Ableton or whatever you're using? It's like, no, dude, get out of here with that.
Just like anything takes practice. And it's a skill.
It takes just as much musical knowledge to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just hitting like go,
Yeah,
like
right. No.
you're
right.
playing all this shit into a keyboard,
Yeah.
and then complexly editing it in
Yeah.
all these, LFOs and filters and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, those sine waves are actually pretty scientific stuff. You know, how they make those sounds and they change the wave type and then they can change how
Exactly, yeah.
amplitude, all that. So it's very scientific, actually.
Oh yeah, that's all it is. I mean, computers.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And it makes you want to dance.
there you go. Yeah.
To a
just
good
crank out a
funky
kick
beat.
drum at 128.
Exactly.
Go. Every EDM song is like 128. Anyways, let's get out of the sadness hole. So you saw a band last night. Who'd you see?
Yeah, I saw The Darkness for
Darkness.
second time in my life, and they are a killer band. Kyle's seen them a few times, and I love them.
I barely even know them.
Man, you got to check out that Permission to Land record. It's
That's what Foz was telling me
everything, man. The
yesterday.
guitar playing and the singing's so awesome, and the songwriting, dude. Like,
Start to finish,
yeah, it's a
great record.
Yeah, and
I mean, I heard the hit the other day because Foz was like, Foz is my drummer, for those that don't know. He was like, oh, you know that song, I Believe in a Thing Called Love? I was like, no. He was like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know it. He was like, yeah, you do. I was like, dude, I don't know it.
check
And
out how
he played it for me. I was like, I don't know it.
you want to check out how the crowd reacted when they started playing. Check this out. The whole crowd jumping up and down.
All 20 of them, dude.
Yeah, the whole place is packed. Place is packed.
I mean, I know it now.
Everybody's singing every word.
Yeah.
So good. And his voice still sounds great. The drummer is the drummer from Queen's son.
Interesting.
Yep. I can forget his name right now.
Roger
but-
Taylor.
Roger Taylor, that's it.
Dang.
I'm glad I got Kyle here.
They had a little leg up.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then they're huge Queen
We'll
fans.
call
obviously.
ourselves King.
You can
No,
hear
we're not doing that.
You can hear it in their music that they're like Queen, Thin
Yeah,
Lizzy, and
yeah.
AC/DC, like
Yeah, I
all
could see
kind
that, I
of
could
balled
see
up
that.
into one. And I love it, dude. I'm the biggest Darkness fan, so
Really?
I went and I had an excellent time with a bunch of my friends. It was-
Okay.
it was
I
awesome.
need to listen to more of it.
Yeah, check out the first record is the one that I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on, and then there's some songs throughout on the other records that I think are good, but for the most part, that first record's flawless. That's really, they just killed it.
Okay. What's so good about it? You
The
briefly mentioned the
songwriting.
stuff.
It's
You
all
briefly
about,
mentioned,
yeah,
but
it's
I
all
wanna
about
get
the
more in depth.
songwriting, and I love the lead guitar to me, it like is so influential. That's exactly like in my mind how a guitar lead should go. Like they have so many like great ones too, and I mean the ballads are killer, epic ballads.
The sound. I mean, it sounds great. It's a well produced record. It's
It's got that
When did it come
classic
out?
rock and roll sound.
2003.
2003,
Oh,
right?
dang.
So it's like a later record than where it kind of sounds. It
Right,
falls in
right,
like
right.
to a, you know, do you
It's
know
like all those bands that came out in like 1990
right?
that were like
Yeah,
they should have been 80s band.
exactly.
You got what? Steelheart, Skid Row.
Right, exactly, right. So it's that kind of thing, and they're kind of an anomaly.
It's like,
that they came out in
that
2003 with that record, and you know the record I'm pretty sure is a well-selling record. Right? I mean,
I would imagine just
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
I mean, so and you know Justin Hawkins sang on the Steel Panther record, the first one, "Feel the Steel."
Oh yeah, what
Um,
song did he do? They had a bunch of guests on
Party All
there.
Night. Was
Party all night.
it Party All Night? Yeah.
They have Corey Taylor on
Yep.
Death to All.
Yep.
They have Chad Kroger on which
Well,
one?
that's the second
That's the
record.
second album.
Yep.
Yeah.
but-
What
yep.
song is that though?
It won't suck itself.
Yeah, it won't like itself.
Yes, and is it the first track of that one that's like an intro? The second album or the first album? Because Dane Cook is the voice of that.
Oh, yeah, it's the second album, and
The
that's
second.
yeah, they're in the beginning.
I thought- yeah, that's- I thought that was awesome.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
we always talk about. It's like a
They're all
throwback to the
uncredited, too,
Motley
I think.
Crue.
You can't. They're not like listed or anything. I don't think. Are they?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're in there.
I've never found that to be the case.
Yeah. And then in the first record, they like, they had some other people too. There's some that I'm forgetting for sure.
I think Scotty Ian played on.
Scott Ian was it? That's right.
Scott Ian plays on everything, and it's so
Yeah.
funny because he's a rhythm guitar player. Like,
Yeah,
it's
well,
not like hiring Slash. or, like,
Exactly right.
Greg
It's not
Howe, or,
something that you're
lays
going to
down an iconic solo. He just sits in the back, plays the riff. Like,
Right.
dude, anyone could do that. Like, I'll do that.
I wonder what it is. I wonder if it's like somewhat of a songwriting thing too. Though, you know, like
could
it's
be.
like
Yeah,
you
it
know,
could
like
be.
what if you took the riff and did this kind of thing, and it was like, oh, okay, that's cool, Scott. Thanks.
Yeah,
You know,
or maybe
I-
it's just to say we
I
had
don't know
Scotty
what
in.
it
It's like, I mean, out of the big four, is Anthrax the least like famous?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I mean,
how it-
name all the Anthrax songs. You know, I can't even think of a single one.
The what's the big one? The
Exactly.
House, Madhouse.
Oh,
It's
Madhouse.
Madhouse.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
only one I know.
Living.
And that was because it was on Guitar Hero.
right. Okay. I didn't know it was on Guitar Hero, but that that's a killer song. I
There's
like
plenty
that
good-
record that
there's
they
plenty
came
good
out with.
I'm sure they have
Worship
good stuff,
Music.
but like they're the least of the four,
Yeah.
right?
You want to check out a good record? I mean, that's came out like later in their career. Worship Music, I think, was a killer record. They just got back with
I think I did
Joey
listen to
Belladonna.
it.
Joey Belladonna.
Yeah. I think I did listen to and like that one.
Yeah, that's right when the Big Four was happening. They released that. I remember.
Yeah,
it came out. So it was something cool to check out, new and
Well,
and
like,
the
We got
record's
it the
good.
day of the Big Four show at Yankee Stadium,
Yeah, that's right. That's
or the
right.
day before. Right
Right.
at the, it was the day.
Dan-
of the day.
Dan
So,
got
but
the
did they
record-
play? Did they open that show?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
that's why I would say
the
that they
Metallica
fall-
closes the show. Like that's
Exactly.
just how it is.
Exactly. And I
You know?
think
It goes
Slayer and
Anthrax,
Megadeth
Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica.
was Slayer and Megadeth.
Actually,
was-
no,
But I think the first
You could
time
probably
the show,
swap- you
the
could probably
showing
swap
order.
between them.
Yeah, the show order was definitely Anthrax, then Megadeth, then Slayer, then Metallica.
Okay.
both times.
Both times.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I love Megadeth. I'd say Megadeth over Slayer in my mind because
I would too.
Yeah.
But that just maybe because I know more of their stuff.
yeah, Slayer is just not really. I mean, you know, like I dig their sound, but it's not my speed. I guess it's a little more
I never really
edgy,
got
I
into
guess,
Slayer
or
that
something
much.
like that. For me, just
The
hasn't.
first time I heard one of that, who's the lead guitar player in the band?
Kerry King
Kerry
or
King's a
Jeff
great player.
Hanneman.
was. Yeah,
Jeff Hanneman was
yeah.
not.
I'm sure he's a great player,
Very
but
hard.
the solo I heard first was Raining Blood, and that's not really a guitar solo.
right.
We're just like shitting on the whammy bar.
There's a lot of that for sure.
It's all it is, and I was just like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I dig them though. I mean, there's
it
some
wasn't
cool
like,
songs, that
and
they
it
got.
wasn't like cool, tasteful whammy bar stuff like you would see in like Joe Satch or Steve Vai, or like interesting techniques. It
Yeah.
was literally just like, Wah!
Yeah, I bet there's more to be had if you listen to
I'm
some
sure,
other
I'm
songs.
sure,
I
I'm
don't think
sure.
you know, Raining Blood's probably not the best
I
example.
know
of a
Slayer
solo,
through
but-
like looking through a straw. Same thing with Anthrax.
Right,
So I'm
exactly,
sure there's
right.
more there, but
yeah,
that's not fun to listen to. So
yeah. To each his own. Oh, so that's Darkness. That's what we were talking about. They're amazing. Guys, go see them.
and I need to check them out more. I guess
Yeah, definitely.
I'm behind the times here.
Yeah.
2003. Come on.
But their most recent record that came out,
Yeah.
Pinewood
Not
Derby.
Hotcakes, but the pep.
Is that what they're touring?
Pinewood Smile. I'm sorry.
Pinewood
they're
Smile.
touring
That's
for?
it.
Is that what they're touring in support of right now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Pinewood
and
Smile.
they've only.
When did
I
it
think
come
they
out?
played one song off the record, maybe
Oh,
two.
It came out recently in the past few, about six months or so.
Oh, okay. So like recent.
Yeah.
Pretty recent. Yeah.
They had.
So they
they've
played the
they're going through
Underground,
some
right? You
Drummers
said?
now. Yeah, they played
Not
the
the
Underground.
Fillmore, the Underground.
Yeah, the Underground.
Now, what? Tell me that this is a Charlotte specific question, but what are the differences between the two?
So
I know the
First of
underground
all-
gets more like the younger crowd's bands, but is it smaller?
It is smaller. It technically holds less people. I think about 1,000 people less. So I think it's 2,000 versus the Fillmore's 3,000, somewhere in that ballpark.
Mhm.
I might be just making numbers up. Less than that. You don't think the Fillmore holds as much? Talking to the mic.
No, I guess I don't think the Fillmore is much more than 2,000.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
probably just a little bit bigger than the
This
underground.
the underground is probably like 1,200 or so. I'm
Okay.
guessing.
Okay. So, but they just redid the underground, which is interesting, and I thought it was much better. Like as far as sound, I'm not sure if they just redid some of the live
Yeah.
sound equipment or whatever, but they also like
Like
took out
upgrade and stuff.
they took out the big bar in the back that everybody was kind of. It was weird because you walk into the place and then the first thing is this big line around the bar, so it was like right in the way, I think, and that was why they got rid of it. I think
Okay.
more room too. So
I'm just thinking, like, is it good that the Darkness is playing the underground, or is it bad?
I think it's good for the fan because it's a smaller, more intimate. I think easier to access kind of show versus like the film where you probably pay more.
Yeah, is it good
Fillmore
for the
does a lot of free
darkness?
shows. That's what I'm,
Right,
I'm
good for the
saying.
Darkness, I
I'm
don't
saying,
know.
like, fans, sure, whatever, but the darkness, like, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
their
if
goal
the
is to play
place
the
was
biggest,
packed,
best venues they can, not
place
play
was packed,
New
and
Brooklyn Tavern.
I bet they'd just rather be like they're probably playing the right venue for them, and
Yeah.
like I don't know what that you should expect.
I'm just
as
wondering
a
if they
rock
booked the
band.
underground because they couldn't sell out the Fillmore, or that kind of thing.
I would say so because I know it sold out at the last minute, and that's kind of how I mean at the very like day before it, I know they stopped.
And
selling
it's
tickets.
interesting. And again, I'm not like the last stop on like what music is, but like I'm a guitar player that's
Yeah.
been playing guitar for 12 years and I barely know the Darkness at all.
Yeah,
So
that's
that-
a shame.
I mean,
man.
that
You gotta
says-
check them out.
I think that might say something about them, right? Or maybe just something about me. But
Well, it's an age thing for sure. It's like
yeah, but I know tons of shit that's way older than that.
right for sure. But if you
But it is funny because the stuff that I know most of, or the stuff that feels newer to me, is actually older
right
because I got into guitar playing it.
right
And the
right.
stuff that I grew up for before I played guitar, which would have been that kind of stuff, all the like early 2000s, late 90s,
Yeah.
like that's like a blank spot for
Yeah.
me because I just didn't know music, didn't care about music at that time.
Exactly. I always say that
And when you're playing guitar, you don't go back to that time period to learn guitar. Guitar
Right.
sucked.
Right.
man. Like,
It's a different thing. So yeah, you take what you like about the
Yeah.
stuff you hear, but it's also on another level at that point. But so I always say that I have a hard time with the timeline of everything because I've
Yeah.
always gone back and figured all this stuff out. I didn't
Yeah,
live
exactly,
through
yeah.
it. So it was like the timeline for me is hard to always place things and
And for
like-
me, it's always been important to figure out what came first and how it all fit.
right.
And how
Me
it
too.
evolved
And it
stuff
is
like
important
that,
to me
yeah.
too. But I make mistakes all the time. And,
Oh, yeah,
and you can
yeah.
ask Kyle because like we'll be talking about something or whatever, and I'll just say.
No,
It's
that
like,
came before that.
Right, exactly. I was like, oh yeah, so they probably were listening to this, and it's like, no, that record wasn't even out yet, or whatever. Like, so they definitely didn't hear that.
And you have to like rewire your whole
yeah,
shit.
well, I just have to think about it. We have to put it all into place a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's slowly piecing it all together. My musical time.
I love going down Wikipedia holes where
Yeah.
and then you start to realize everything's kind of all connected.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy's in this band, and then he played in this band, and then oh my god,
yeah.
like this lead singer of Toto, his dad is John Williams, who composed all the music for Star Wars, Jaws,
Right,
Indiana
right,
Jones,
right.
like one of the most successful movie composers of all time.
Yeah. that's
Son sings in
crazy.
Toto.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
what?
crazy. So
Like, what is that?
it's all
thing
kind of
sounding like?
connected in a weird way.
Yeah. And rock bands are always, oh, this guy was in this band, but then he plays in this band. It's like all this other
Yeah.
connected stuff
Yeah.
that you don't know and you don't really get from listening to the song.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
don't really you get this picture
Yeah.
that is the song, but you don't get everything that was happening around the time the picture was taken.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Or
there's a lot
what
of-
went
there's lots
into
to go
making
back
that
and learn,
picture and all that says this analogy's falling apart. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Let's talk about money.
Yeah. You saw
I'm
Harry
a fan of it.
Myrie's video. That was pretty good.
Harry Myrie, yes,
Yeah.
our good friend of the podcast, good friend of us, Harry Myrie, just posted a video, and this comes out tomorrow, or 2 days, which would be
Yeah.
April 30th, right? We're recording
Sure.
this on a Saturday
I'm
night,
gonna go with that.
and he released this video 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
it's a very recent video.
Yep.
As of this recording, and he literally sits in front of the camera and talks about money and shows you exactly what he made as a drummer.
Right.
And then the first little bit of the video is him saying like, "This might be taboo, but it's not." So whatever.
Yeah.
And he
It's-
breaks
it's
down what
interesting, yeah.
it really is to. Well, actually, the reason he did it is because a lot of people commented, "Hey, how much money do you make?"
Right. Right. Well,
So
it's
in
something
so many
interesting to
words.
know because if you're going in to do that, you know what I mean, and you're like, hey, can I make a living being a musician, you know,
Right.
like, and not have a regular job? It's interesting to know somebody like him because he's reached a nice status for himself.
and we watched the video together
Mhm.
all the way through.
Yep.
What were your thoughts?
It's an interesting topic because I think about that all the time. And he talked in there about the compounding of your musical ability, because if you're doing it all the time, you're making your money doing this now.
And
now you don't have
opportunities, too.
right. You don't have another job that you're beholden to.
Right.
Make sure you get to every day. Or
Well, because
whatever.
every time you're at your cubicle, you're not at your guitar.
Exactly. So if now you're playing your instrument for a living, now you're adding all the time that you have, and
I think a point he was making was even if it's less
right.
than what you would be making in the cubicle.
Right,
you know?
right, exactly. So, and it's just, if all you need is like to be able to be sustainable if you're doing something you love.
Right.
So
Yeah, sustainable.
it's an interesting thing being a musician and wanting to make your living out of that.
And I think anyone would look at those numbers and say they're pretty low.
Yeah.
They're really low.
Yeah, but it's livable, and he talks about how he does it.
He then talks about exactly
how he makes it by.
what life is to him.
Exactly.
It's not really money.
There's not all fancy frills and stuff like that in his life. He's wearing the same clothes, whatever he has. He goes through it all. So check out the video; it's really good.
Yeah, it's a really good video. You got to check out Harry, and you got to subscribe to him. Really funny guy, amazing drummer.
Yeah.
So definitely. But that leads me to something that I have dubbed, and I'm sure it's been called this before, the middle class musician.
Yep, that's essentially what
most people. Yeah, Harry would be a middle class musician for sure. Most people outside of music, maybe, or struggling to figure out how to make money doing music, would think like, okay, well, I'm either a starving artist on one end, or the goal is to then be Lady Gaga on the other end, making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right, from busker.
And if I can't do that, I'm
arenas.
screwed.
Right.
And it's like, no, there's a lot of stuff in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, there's session musicians. First of all, I mean, if you're
session musicians, there's teachers, there's producers, there's recording engineers,
touring band members.
Sure,
exactly.
Yeah, sidemen, which is what Harry is.
Yep.
Run music at a church, like you can do, and I do most of the things I just listed.
Yeah,
and it all combines to make you a middle class musician.
Right, puts it all. That's how you make your money, and then
that topic's something close to my heart because that's what I do.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
me personally. I do only music. And I make all the money from music.
Explain some of the benefits we were talking about earlier. About your timing and stuff.
A lot of free time.
Right.
You're in charge of your own kind of thing. You don't really answer to a boss or anything like that, which can get weird. I mean, I had an experience recently where I was suddenly thrust into a position where I had to be somewhere at a certain time and answer to a boss and all that stuff, and I did not do well with that.
Yeah. So there you go. It's teach his own.
And I told that to a mentor of mine. He was like, "Oh, do you have a problem with authority?" I was like, "Well, not if I am the authority."
Well, then that's a yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, maybe.
I know other people like that. It's not. It's okay.
It's not like a rebellious thing. It's just kind of like,
doing what you need to
do my thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. You're doing what you need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's working for you, so you don't need to.
Well, yeah. If it's working, then we can carry on. But if it's not working, then you got to reevaluate.
Yeah.
But that's why this.
So and it's working well for being in a band and trying to
yes, time to write, record,
opportunities
play.
you're going to be involved in.
Sure.
Because you're just
somebody says, "Hey, we need to do this at noon on a Monday." It's like, sure, let's do it.
Absolutely.
I'm down.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh crap, I got to take a lunch break, figure out how to make all that work. It's just like, we're good. I got it.
And that shit's stressful, man.
It
piles up.
And a lot of the income I make comes from teaching.
Right.
And it's very easy if somebody says, "Hey, let's do it at this time," and you have a student at that time, to call the student and say, "Hey, let's reschedule this time," and they go, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
It's really no stress. The students don't care.
Yep.
You don't care, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
In a good way. And you just reschedule the date or schedule a way to make up the money to them, whatever it is. But it's
flexibility is huge.
It's very flexible.
Yeah. Yep.
If someone came up to me and was like, "Yo, you're on the road for 3 months tomorrow," it's like, let's do it.
You can do it. Call your friends. Call your lesson.
Call lessons. Be like, "Hey, we're gonna take a 3-month hiatus."
Yep.
Cover everything. It's and to those of you that may be listening, thinking, I want to make a living in music, do it. Don't get caught up in like, oh, I have to be on stage to make money. Well, first of all, you're not going to be making money on stage for a while, probably.
Right.
Unless you get wildly lucky, which is definitely a factor.
There are lots of other ways.
Get creative. Think about how you can do music. Maybe not in the one single way you're thinking right now. Open those horizons a little bit,
right?
And think about
maybe that could be steps to get to what you're thinking of.
One of the first ways I ever made money from music was my dad's friend saw me just jamming in my room one day. Was like, "Yo, you got to teach me guitar," and he paid me X amount of lesson.
There you go.
I was making money playing guitar.
That's a lesson right there.
Yeah,
a lesson in itself.
Yeah, a lesson in a lesson. Yeah, exactly. So think about teaching. Think about churches pay really well.
Yeah,
and
they're always looking for musicians.
Yeah, and regardless of faith, you don't have to be a devout whatever to do a great job for a church. Just be respectful and polite. That's the only thing I would say.
Right.
You don't have to, just don't be a dick.
I think it goes without saying, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then maybe not.
Right. Well,
churches pay great, and they always pay
and they're always
higher
nice
than most
people.
other places. Yeah, always really nice.
So it's like it's not a bad people to work with.
Sure.
So.
And what other things could you be doing? You could be
recording. I mean, like
you could get good at recording and record bands. You could record your own stuff and sell it online, like for music libraries and stuff. I've done that successfully. It's pretty cool to record a track and then be sitting at dinner and ding, sold, ding, sold, ding. So you're like, whoa, nice. Money just pouring in.
And everybody can do it now. You got to put a little money invested into some recording equipment, but you know, like in the long scheme, if that's what you're doing anyways, you're going to need that stuff.
Sure. And teaching is probably the best place to start and the best bang for the buck. Yeah. Because it's a very high hourly rate. You can charge upwards of $60, $70 an hour.
You got to get good first, though.
You got to get pretty good at teaching. And not just good at playing, good at teaching.
Right.
Because the number one thing you want is your students to see results.
Yeah.
If that's not happening, then you're not really doing it. If you're just sitting there wanking and they're like, "Oh, you're great," and it's like, "Well, I'm not getting any better."
Exactly. You have to be good at teaching.
So, the middle class musician is something that's near and dear to my heart. Gig, learn a bunch of cover tunes and put an ad on Craigslist saying, "I'm a bass player." If you're a bass player, dude, you're gonna get hired. Oh, yeah. Also, learn to sing, even if it's just like a little bit. Learn to sing harmony. Vocals, and if you say I'm a bassist with backing vocals, or a keyboardist with backing vocals, dude, you're gonna get hired so much. Less so if you're a guitar player. There's a billion guitar players. Or just get really good at singing. Everyone always needs a singer.
Sure.
There's also a lot of drummers. Yeah. But dude, everybody needs a bass player. Everybody I've ever met is looking for a bass player.
Yeah. Everybody needs something. So just post out, get out there.
If you're a bass player, just get really good at bass and learn to sing.
Yeah.
You're gonna be playing around town. 5 nights a week. Yeah. Making 100 plus bucks a night. That's not too bad. That's $2,000 a month.
That's pretty sweet.
On the low end, if you're making 5 nights a week.
Totally.
I mean, we don't need to beat a dead horse, but
I like that.
I hope this has been a little encouraging for someone that may be like, God, I can't do anything in music. And I know, especially if you're younger in the late teens, like 17, 18, I remember when I was there, which is not that long ago.
Right. It's daunting.
You kind of feel like, oh God, like I can't, because my parents are always like, well, you're never going to be like Lady Gaga. Like,
right. It's not something that happens
how are you
to everybody.
Like, you can't do that. So go do something else. It's like, well, no, there's a lot of stuff in between and I had to find that out for myself. So
exactly.
Yeah,
and that's one of
hope.
Yeah, that's one of the things about being at this age too. We talked about it. Like, I'm 28, so it's like I know how it feels. Like you're just kind of reaching a point where you get older and you expect yourself to be somewhere or whatever. So that's one of the things you have to.
I think those expectations are dangerous too because they usually come from external factors.
Exactly.
It's usually like, well, my friend's doing this. It's like, it's like, well,
yeah, you definitely can't
just do your
thing.
Can't
get jealous and you can't. You can't beat yourself up too much. You have to.
And it's a constant thing. It's a constant
use it as fuel. Use it to be like, well, I just got to put a little more work into this area, and then I got this, and then you just keep going.
And you constantly have to step back and be like, okay, well, that guy might have that, but I don't, so that's all right.
Exactly. Make what you got work. You know, always.
Cool. Anything else on the middle class musician?
No, that was good.
Yeah,
good thought. Good topic.
The good news is anyone can do it.
Yeah,
anyone can make money doing only music.
Yeah,
you just got to get a little creative with how you do.
You can do it. You can spread it out. You can do so much. Like all together
that is the most important thing you've said.
Yeah,
ever.
Ever.
Everything you've ever said was unimportant. No, but in this conversation, that's the most important thing you could ever take away from this. Is you don't have to make all your money from teaching. I don't. You don't have to make all your money from a church. I don't. You don't have to make all your money from producing. I don't. A little bit of everything. But all three of those
get you a lot.
Add up a lot.
Yep.
And it quickly adds up. And like I said, you have a lot of free time. So you can go, well, what am I going to, I'm not just going to sit around and play video games. Like I'm going to try to do this thing. And then all of a sudden it starts compounding and then something gets successful. And it's just get started. Yeah. And then, don't close any doors on yourself.
Exactly.
See how it goes. This got a little preachy, but that's all right.
I like it.
That's all right. I think it's good advice. At least we live it. So
that's right. That's right.
That's fair. Let's talk about this other topic real quick because it's going to be a shorter one. Triple name bands. We have dubbed it. I don't know what. If you have a better name for it out there, please email us.
If anybody knows what to call it.
The definition is a band that has a song, album, and their band name is all the same.
Yeah.
So Kyle, what's the first one?
Motorhead.
Okay, that's a new one.
That's a good one.
Motorhead, the song off the album Motorhead by the band Motorhead.
Yeah, totally.
Another one, Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Song Iron Maiden off the album Iron Maiden by the band Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
So you get the idea. What other ones we got?
I said Body Count before, yeah.
The first one I thought it was Metal Church.
Metal Church, yeah.
Great riff.
Yeah.
Would you call them? You couldn't even call them a one-hit wonder because it wasn't famous. But their only really big song is Metal Church.
Right.
It's a cool song.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, they all kind of the same. I don't know. Yeah.
The 1975 is another one. Although the actual song, the 1975, it's like a minute long like intro kind of thing. But I guess it still counts.
Yeah. What else is there? There's definitely more.
There's got to be more, but I'm really interested to kind of add to this. So if you out there listening are just screaming at the radio right now, thinking of one,
you should have a place where we can add them all up and put it like a list of somewhere.
What a useless list, but it's still
but it's
fun
funny.
To think about.
It is funny. Yeah.
What is the reasoning behind that? You think?
I don't know. It's fucking. You get attached to a really good idea. Like you're like, that's it. That's perfect.
Like,
and then
dude,
it's
our
just
name
like,
is Street
Or-
Theater. and
yeah,
that's
but
the
which
coolest
comes
thing ever.
first? Is it the
yeah,
song?
well, yeah,
Is it
maybe
a-
they wrote a song and they're like, I got an idea for a name of the song, and then that song ends up being like their big song. So there's like, let's
You
name
wouldn't
the
have a big
band
song
then.
if
You
you
don't
have a
big
band name, though,
right?
right?
So
Well, no, you'd have a big song. Well, not big like as in like out yet, but I mean, you're like, this song is
Oh,
our
like, as
song.
you're
Like
writing-
you
I
just
got
feel
you.
it.
Like,
You just
within
know
the
this
band,
song
yeah.
is it. Like this is what we're going for. And then that
Okay.
becomes that song name,
That
and then
makes
so
sense.
you're like, let's name the band that.
I thought you were saying
and
like
then the
this
album
song
is just self-titled. That's my theory behind it.
There you go. Yeah. I thought you were saying like, oh well, this song is all over the radio, so we should name our band that.
No, imagine you like wrote a killer song. Like you have these other songs, but you have one killer fucking song. Like you just said, the Metal Church song. You know, it's like that
Yeah.
one song is the one that
It's a cool
everybody
riff.
knows, right? So then you have that, and then you're like, this is awesome, and then you just keep going past that. And like I said before, the album's self-titled, done.
I listen to
That's how
lyrics.
you get there.
I listen to lyrics last when I'm listening to music. The first
Okay.
thing I hear is like melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I have to listen to a song a lot of times before I hear the lyrics.
Only,
say that-
only if I don't see her like a standout lyric.
Right.
though.
And I say that I hear some words,
Right, right.
the big ones, but I don't get the message the first
Yeah,
time I listen to a song.
right.
And I say that to say that I have no idea what the lyrics are to the song Metal Church, but
Yeah.
I gotta believe he's not like does he ever say Metal Church? Do you know, Kyle?
Should we look it up? Let's look it up.
Let's look it up. Yeah, if we only had something that could tell us the answers we seek,
we do have some stuff.
we have the internet. Kyle, do you like the band Metal Church? Let's talk here while
not
Matt dicks around on his iPad.
not particularly.
You're not
I
looking
know
up
that
anything,
song.
you're just
I only
playing
know that song.
Doodle Jump.
Doodle jump.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I
Kyle.
don't doodle.
No, that's the only song I really know by them.
Same. I mean, I don't really know the band. But last night we played a gig last night, and I don't know what.
Did you guys play
Um,
Metal Church?
No, we did
Oh.
not at all. But I don't know
I was
how.
gonna say,
I
like,
don't
what
know.
gig were you playing?
I don't know how we got on this topic, but it was somehow we got on the topic of the triple name bands.
Black
And-
Sabbath.
Oh,
yeah,
Black Sabbath.
good
That's
one,
a great
really
one.
good one.
And I was like, oh, that Metal Church song.
Metal
I haven't heard
Church,
that.
it's
I
the
haven't heard that in
chorus.
so long. Oh, really? It does
Yeah.
say it.
Metal
Yeah.
Church, unholy church will be the sacrifice. Metal Church, the only church. Don't you know the time is right? Metal Church, will find you. Can't run very far. Metal Church inside you knows who you are.
That's
Yes,
kind of gay.
It's like it's elementary poetry.
There you
That's what it is. But it doesn't matter. It's about the singing style. It's like delivery and all that. So
Yeah.
it's more about the music
Well,
itself.
his screaming, I guess I would call it screaming, kind of that high pitched thing. It's the kind I don't like. Like the kind I like is like Glenn Hughes, Axl Rose. Who else really sings up there with Chris Cornell?
yeah.
Those guys. I
Yeah.
don't like the falsetto, like kind of guy. Like a lot of the metal guys kind of
Yeah.
go that way, and I
Yeah.
do not like that
darkness.
at all. Yeah, he's all pure falsetto with no
Yeah.
head voice,
Yeah.
and it does bug the crap out of me because it's like
Songs named after the bands that played them.
oh, here we go.
Interesting.
We have a full list here.
Maybe. Talk, talk, talk. I
Okay.
guess there's a band named Talk.
Atari Teenage Riot.
Yeah, and they had a song.
Oh, Bad Company's
There
in
we
Bad
go,
that.
that's a
Company's a
good
good one.
one.
Bad Religion's another good one. Bill and
Black
Sebastian
Sabbath. There it
never
is. There's
ended.
Body Count.
Yeah,
Nice.
Body Count.
Damn Yankees.
Damn
Damn
Yes.
Yankees is another one.
Green Day. I don't think the album was called Green Day though, so that doesn't
Was
count.
it? They might have had an album
Their
called
first
Green
album
Day.
was called Dookie. And,
Oh, okay.
and that's probably what that one's off of.
Okay. Ice House, never heard of them.
Iron Maiden, we know. Cool in the Gang, we're unconfirmed if that's.
I saw Cool in the Gang. Me and Kyle did. We saw them open
some
for
of
Van Halen.
That's-
At the same show that we got the
That's
front
ridiculous.
row. Yeah, they were awesome. Meat Puppets.
I like that callback,
Minor
though. That's
Threats,
awesome.
another one.
There's
Motorhead.
Yep.
Pennywise.
That's a good one.
Porno for Pyros.
Weird.
That's
There's
Perry
Talk Talk.
Farrell. Yeah.
They might be giants.
Somebody's already got a list of me. That's good.
That band's cool. Titus on Andrew. I don't know how to say that.
Andronicus.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Youth of Today.
I don't know most of those.
They
but
look
that-
awesome though. I like this video.
There can't be so many of them. Like there can't be too many of them. Oh, here we go.
Youth of Today from 1986. I love the video or the picture. It looks like it's gonna be a video, but they're
Nice.
all up in the air flying.
Do you know this band?
No, it looks awesome.
It sounds like it's a punk kind of style.
Definitely 1986, and they look punky as fuck, like hardcore punk.
Nice.
Motorhead gets an asterisk because it's a cover after a fashion. Before Lemmy founded Motorhead, he was a member of Hawkwind, and Hawkwind's song Motorhead is what gave Lemmy's new band its name. Also, I could find versions of New Kids on the Block. Judas Priest.
By Judas Priest.
Yeah.
It's all the new wave of British heavy metal bands.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe that speaks to unoriginality.
Yeah.
So the way this list.
What are we gonna name
names
the band? Judas Priest. Yeah, but that's the album name.
Brilliant.
And the song name.
it-
Yeah, but
Nobody will
like I
forget
don't
it.
feel like coming up with something different, so let's just do that. Like,
What else are we
fine.
gonna do?
Dude, we're wearing so much leather, no one gives a shit. Like, you think they care about the song name?
Definitely
They do not.
Definitely not.
Okay, but that's gonna parlay into this next topic, which you brought up, which I think is a great topic, Matt. Songs that or where the covers are more popular than the originals.
Right.
So let's name off the ones we know. Knocking on Heaven's Door,
Yeah, definitely. Bob
Guns N'
Dylan.
Roses,
Guns N' Roses
made
did it.
famous. Bob Dylan written. A lot of
Yeah.
them written by Bob Dylan.
Yeah, a lot of Bob Dylan songs. We were talking about
A
that.
lot of Bob Dylan is the writer and not the performer.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean we all
Not
know
the
why.
hit, yeah.
All Along the Watchtower is another example of that.
Yeah.
Made famous by Hendrix, written by Dylan.
Yep.
What else did you say?
I like the
And Kyle, feel free to
Aldanova
chime
cover
in.
by Steel Panther. And
Okay.
They did
Written by-
Fantasy Aldanova.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
Song
they
was
covered
famous.
it. They killed it. They did a way better version.
I mean,
Okay.
is it more popular?
Now,
or
let's
just
talk about more
better? What's
It
popular.
was
Not
the it was the
necessarily.
theme song for Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. So,
The Steel Panther version?
Yeah.
Okay.
which is
Was
where
it written? Was it done for that purpose? You think?
I don't know. I actually knew the song before I even knew who Steel Panther was, just because of that TV show that was on or whatever. And
Interesting.
Then I found out about Steel Panther. I was like, hey, wait a minute, this sounds like that thing. And I sure as hell I looked it up, and it's Michael Starr singing that.
We'll have trouble justifying better air quotes because what's better?
Right.
But we can probably argue more
I-
famous.
I think
So
it's
let's
pretty well known. Like we were talking about.
Well,
Black
the fact that
Crowes.
it's on a TV theme, that's gotta. I mean, come
It
on.
was a pretty
But how
good size
famous was the
hit.
first
For,
one?
it was pretty good size hit for Aldo Nova back
Yeah,
in the 80s.
Was it?
So
Okay, see, that's
How
the stuff
big,
I wouldn't know.
How big
Yeah.
was the band?
Aldanova.
Yeah.
it was a guy.
Yeah. So it's like a,
Back in the 80s, like I said, it was a decent sized moderate hit. Whereas Steel Panther version, unless you're a Steel Panther version, you
it's so
haven't
much
heard it.
better though, man. There's no arguing it. Should we play
Okay,
it? So
okay,
just to justify, because I'm telling you, man, like that first one doesn't have a
We'll
lot
add
of.
it in the show notes.
Yeah.
We'll add the two versions. so they
yeah,
can
because
compare.
it's super interesting.
Live,
else?
how
What
about
other-
Live and Let Die?
Live and Let Die is a Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Is it more popular? I don't know.
I don't know because Paul McCartney's was written for the James
Right.
Bond movie.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
See?
So,
One of those things.
What's the
but it,
criteria?
is,
But as
it
far
was.
as-
I think it was actually a chart hit for GNR. I don't think
Makes
it was a high
sense.
chart hit, but I think it actually charted.
It would make sense. Yeah.
Still part of the live show today.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my favorite GNR at all.
Live and Let Die.
I'm so bored by that song, dude. They literally just
Alex.
chug G the entire song. Gun,
Alex,
gun, 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 gun. It's the
I like
whole song.
Axl's approach to it though. is
I
what
love Axl's
you know,
approach, and I love Slash's solos. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
The original song is even more boring.
Yeah. Hair of the Dog was a good one.
I just
would
Hair of the
say.
Dog's great.
But
Again,
that's
GNR.
arguably
That's
like
three
is that better?
GNRs.
Yeah, but is that arguably like because Hair of the Dog was Nazareth's biggest song? You know what I mean?
But how big was Nazareth?
Right.
And
So-
it was not a big hit for GNR. So
right,
again,
right. But
maybe
better.
equal.
But here's where we're talking about we get better. You know what I mean? Like
I would agree better for sure. What
So
about
killer.
I Don't Need No Doctor? Originally by Humble
Humble Pie.
Pie,
okay, I don't know that
and
one.
then covered by John Schofield, and then covered by John Mayer, and it's actually a hit for Mayer. Not a big hit, but
Right.
it's
Yeah.
it's a song that people know off a live record, and it's super cool because the real version is like a chuggy E riff, like dun 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 dun, kind of like the Chili Peppers.
Okay.
What was that song?
Higher-
There you go. There's another one. Higher Ground. Stevie
Yeah, Higher
Wonder.
Ground, yeah.
Hey,
a good one.
This is hilarious. how
Yeah,
this
there's
is-
a lot of them, man. A lot of people have been playing the same songs over and over. That's
Nothing Compares to You. Sinead's version.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
people know
yeah.
who
Sinead
that
O'Connor.
than-
What about what kind of got us on this topic? The Black Crowes Hard to Handle.
Yeah, Otis Redding.
Otis Redding. I think obviously made famous by the Black Crowes. I mean, Otis Redding is a superstar and he's got so many great songs. But
Right, but that wasn't like a big hit for him.
sure, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay has been covered. Speaking of Otis Redding, been
Yeah.
covered by a million people.
Yeah.
The one I know best is Michael Bolton, which a lot of people hate on, but I love that song, and I'll
Yeah,
tell
I
you
don't know
why.
him that well.
You get to about the halfway point in that song, and you can feel it building. You're like, oh, here comes a guitar solo.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
oh, this is gonna be
right.
this better be a sick solo. But the thing is, it's like an '80s like classic Michael Bolton song, so you're expecting to kind of be let down, right?
Right.
This solo rips
Really?
so fucking hard,
Awesome.
dude.
We'll have to make
It
a solo
is
of the week one
so
time.
good, and it's so good that I'm like, that's not a session guy. That's got to be a famous guitar
Right,
player. There's
right.
no way
Right.
some session guy went in and had the balls to cut that solo.
Kind of like, like I always feel like
Do you want
like
to
the
guess
Eddie
who
Van
it is? I'll
Halen
give you three
doing
guesses to
Michael,
guess who
Michael
played it.
Jackson's.
You haven't heard it, so that's unfair. But
What is it? What am I guessing?
who played the solo on Sitting on the Dock of the Bay without having ever heard it?
All right, without ever.
It's just you're just stabbing in the dark here.
Well, yeah. So it's Michael Bolton, though, right? It's who
Right,
who
right.
he. That's the recording.
He let me give you a couple hints at least.
Yeah.
He's a famous guitar player. He's famous for being a part of a band.
Okay.
This band got big in the 80s and has a lot of hits.
Got big in
Richie
the 80s.
Sambora.
Good guess, but no. You're right on the like track though.
Okay. Well, there you go.
As soon as you say it, I'm going to know it because I have heard of this before.
All right, hit it.
It's not like Carlos Santana or something, is it?
Nope.
Like, I'm trying to think of.
Not a bad guess. Related to Carlos Santana in a way.
Okay. Not Richie Blackmore or something?
Nope, Neil Schon.
Neil Schon. Okay. Damn
There you
it.
go.
And related
That's
to Carlos
crazy.
Santana because Neil Schon joined Santana's band when he was 16.
I didn't know that.
Didn't
Wow,
know that.
that's interesting.
He was 16. Neil Schon has never not been like in a famous rock band.
Okay.
Weird. Maybe
damn.
that's kind of why he has the. I don't want to say he's a dick, but a lot of people that have met him said he's a dick. I've never met him, but
He's cocky as fuck, I'm sure.
I guess because I mean he literally picked up a guitar and like 2 years later was in a superstar rock touring band and has never stopped being in
Yeah.
a superstar
Yeah.
rock touring band. Like
Just legendary.
he's just always been like
That's
rocking.
crazy.
The journey's directly out of Carlos Santana's band. It's because it started with Neil Schon and Greg Rowley,
Okay.
and Rowley was his keyboard player, and he's the one singing Black Magic Woman.
Crazy. That's so,
So
crazy.
they just
How
they
did I
s-
never know that?
they
That
pulled
seems like
they pulled them out of Santana and was like, dude, we got to start you guys a band. So the first 3 Journey records are really like
Santana's
weird and experimental and odd meters and kind of
Yeah.
like Rush Yes
they
kind of
are.
sound.
Right.
And then they were like, all right, this sucks. We got to hit Steve Perry.
Yeah. I don't know if they realized that it was going to be Steve Perry, but when
No,
they did,
the manager Herbie Herbert's the guy that put all this together. So
Oh, okay.
he found Steve Perry and was like, "This guy is singing in your band."
That'd be
and Neil
perfect,
Schon
yeah.
was like, "Fuck no, he's not. We want a screamer." And he was like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. This guy's singing in your band." And
Journey was born.
credit to Neil or
Yeah.
Greg and the guys. They bowed to their manager and they were like, "Okay."
Yeah.
they weren't
got
dicks
put
about
a hell
it.
of a
Like,
band together, man.
and yeah, I mean, come on,
Think
man.
about that.
Come
Crazy.
on, you got to hear the demo that Steve Perry auditioned with too. It's
That'd be
fantastic.
really interesting to hear. Yeah.
It's so good. What other songs covered?
You really got me?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
a really big one. Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't that big for the Kinks?
Yeah. well,
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I here's the thing.
And then I know it was big for Van Halen, but how big?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that I used to think. I thought that was a Van Halen song.
That's
So
the giveaway. I think,
That's
right
the
there.
one right there.
And then that also could be like because you probably didn't listen to the Kinks all the time,
right.
So,
Exactly.
You
It
know,
wasn't
it's kind of like.
right.
So
Yeah,
what do you
like,
think?
Oh,
What
Pretty
do you think
Woman
there?
was probably a big hit for Roy Orbison in its time.
It
but
was his only hit,
Right.
but I think it was 60s.
It would have been like early 60s.
Definitely
Yeah.
old. Yeah.
There's 2 for Van Halen.
Where While the Good Times Gone, another Van Halen Kinks.
and they also
cover.
did No Good. Right.
Linda Ronstadt
Yeah.
cover, yeah.
Yeah.
You're no-
that's
you're
a
no
really
good.
great song. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
very popular or whatever, but I mean, it's just
Linda
And
Ronstadt's was huge.
A lot of Hendrix's were covers.
yeah. Yeah.
We said all along the Watchtower. Hey
We
Joe,
got-
I think was a cover.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the covers were from like old like blues guys.
That's-
So
yeah.
it's kind of
And
like
I bet Rolling
you'll never find
Stones-
the original. You know what I mean?
Well, there's something in the Rolling Stones. I bet there's like some old blues song that they did. What's the one? It's a not a Muddy Waters. Howlin' Wolf song. Howlin' Wolf song
I know
by
what
the
we're
Rolling
talking about tonight.
Stones. It's
It's
talking
not-
about I'm gonna leave you before I do something bad. What? Fuck, I wish I could think of the name of that song. Anyways,
Damn.
great
Stumped on the
song.
show.
Yeah,
Stumped on the show.
I'll find it. I'm not gonna let it go.
Yeah, it's one of those things you can't let go. What else are you thinking, Kyle?
Oh,
Now we're in thinking mode because we
Yeah,
exhausted
now
all of
we're
our
getting-
immediate.
We're getting deep into it.
We can't think too much because then it's just silent. People are like, what the fuck am I listening to? Man, covers.
I mean, you were talking about I like Stevie Ray Vaughan's
Rubber
Yeah,
Voodoo
yeah.
Joe. That's the one I was
so
about
that
to say as well. And he covered a lot of Hendrix. And then John Mayer also
Yeah, Little
covers
Wing,
a lot of
Little
Hendrix.
Wing, and he did some of that stuff.
Yeah, the Little Wing version is awesome.
Motley Crue, "Smoking in the Boys' Room" was a huge hit for them.
And then the
And who
Beatles-
did
And
it originally?
Brownsville Station
Oh, I thought that was What's
was the
That's
original
a
band in
perfect
the
example.
70s,
More
They did a
famous.
Beatles cover too. They did
Oh, they did
Helter
Helter
Skelter,
Skelter,
yeah.
but
but that obviously was probably bigger than by the
Everyone
Beatles.
covers that though.
Yeah.
Literally everyone covers that. Oh, Guns N' Roses' Mama Ken.
Yeah.
although that's,
Not a
that's
hit for them at all, but they it was on their like first demo.
Yeah. And that's an Aerosmith song.
It came out on
Yeah,
Live. Yeah,
yeah.
It's off the first Aerosmith record.
What about all the covers of Dream On, for better or worse? Not more famous than the original, obviously.
No.
But Dio did one
Mhm.
that was really sad.
Mhm.
Really sad. Because you know what you want to hear in Dream On. What do you want to hear in Dream On? You want to hear that scream. That's all you're waiting
The
for.
big part,
the
yeah, for
entire
sure, the
song.
climax.
And Dio goes
Right.
down. He goes lower than
Yeah,
the other part. And it's
yeah.
kind of like, that sucks so
Mm.
much.
Yeah.
If you can't do that part, just don't do that song.
Yeah.
Certainly, he could have got something in there in the high part, though.
Yeah,
Sure,
I
but
mean, he can get up there,
Right.
and he maintains his huge power, which is like
Right.
Heaven and Hell is a great example.
Yeah. Yeah.
That song is high,
Yeah.
but
Whole
he
album's
keeps
good.
all of that power.
There's another song
Is
in
there
the album,
no Heaven and Hell? There you go, and all triple.
but it's not the band. The
It's
band
not
wasn't
the,
called
well, the
Heaven-
band
Heaven.
later
Later, they became Heaven and Hell.
That's a good
they
point.
toured under
But
it. Yeah.
the only thing,
Ah, I didn't know that.
the only reason that won't count is because it wasn't all at the same time.
Right.
So Heaven and Hell was the song, Heaven and Hell was the album, but the band was Black Sabbath.
Okay.
So later, Black Sabbath got together
Yeah.
and we're like, yo, we want to call ourselves Black Sabbath. And Ozzy was like, fuck you, you're not doing that. So they
Right.
were like, fine, we'll call ourselves Heaven and Hell.
Okay.
Have you heard that album?
Yeah.
Dude,
Heaven
it's
and Hell.
brutal.
I've heard the
So
album.
good.
Yeah.
Follow the Tears. Amazing. They're in
All
drop
songs.
C. And he's
Oh, they drop
just
C in that?
chugging on like 8 amps at once. It sounds so brutal, dude.
I'll have to listen to that again. I love the album. I remember loving it, but I
Bible
just
Black.
haven't
great
heard it in a
song.
while.
Oh, that whole album is
Yeah.
amazing.
I like
And
Mob
the cover
Rules.
is one of
Mob
the
Rules
best
is
metal
great,
covers
too.
I've ever seen. The cover art.
The Mob Rules was great too.
Mob Rules is amazing. Love that song.
Well, there's an
Um,
album too, right? Yeah, there's an album. I have it.
It is the album as well.
Yeah,
Still by Black Sabbath.
by Black Sabbath, correct?
How about what's up with Black Sabbath having like 15 different singers?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Do you
hard
know
to
the singer that was
replace
with them the
Ozzy.
longest?
Not Ozzy.
Tony Martin.
Really?
Yeah.
How many years?
Weird. I don't remember. More than Dio and Ozzy though, which
That's
are the
crazy.
two famous ones though.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Tony Martin's a
the
great
other
singer.
guy,
His
right?
stuff with him is actually pretty good. There's a
Okay.
couple songs that are like, whoa, that's awesome.
Kind of like the John Corabi, Motley Crue era.
Yeah.
but
Well, he only did
was,
one,
right, one album.
One album or two?
One album.
Okay, so he left for
The
Generation
self-titled
Swan, right?
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
That's
Motley Crue.
so bad.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
I love the album.
Love
but
the
it's just
album.
so crazy that it
Karabi's
worked
got
out
a
that
great
way.
voice.
You could still hear Karabi on Generation Swine in the background. He's singing.
Okay,
He's singing
okay.
background vocals. He's definitely
Okay.
is his. He's
That
either
sucks.
made it
He's
to
way
it.
better than Vince Neil.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what-
Love
yeah.
that record.
Do you
Love
guys
that
follow
record.
the Dead Daisies at all?
I've listened to it a bit for some reason, and it should on paper blow me away. For some reason, it doesn't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
loving
explain
the
it.
Dead
That's
Daisies, dude.
that's
Richard Fortus?
Richard Fortus, yeah.
John Corabi. Well,
Yeah.
now they have Doug Aldrich in there.
Yeah,
right?
Fortis isn't in the
Crazy.
band right
No,
now.
he's
but
he's a
Right.
GNR. That
Right.
payday's probably way better. So.
He definitely probably
The
is
Dead
not
Daisies
the
playing like
word.
Fillmore,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then Guns N' Roses is playing like Carolina Panthers Stadium.
Yeah,
It's
$8 million
you know, whatever
a
it is.
night or whatever. the fuck it
Yeah,
is.
it was like $2 million plus a show, 2 to 3, I think.
Jesus. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, the expenses are.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I can't wait for the AC/DC.
you know how they do that
So
tour right
excited
now,
about
right?
that.
And I think this is the GNR tour. I heard this about. They have 2 identical rigs
right.
for the entire show, and they leapfrog each other
each
because it
Wow.
takes so damn long to set everything up.
Wow,
They cannot do it in the time that.
that's crazy.
So that
That's
right
a lot of
there,
work.
all of our tour expenses, double them.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Well, that's a big show. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine having 2 crews,
Yeah.
and it's just
Metallica's
like,
doing that too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
dang.
Big shows, man. Can't wait
See,
to see
on that
Metallica. That's
level,
gonna
I
be
feel
fun.
like you could give yourself the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we don't have to go day.
Right.
Let's do every 3 days we play a
Right,
show. Like,
right.
you know,
Because it's a big operation.
But then
Take a
you,
couple
you
days
know,
off.
you
And that's
cut
why
your
it's
money in third.
$200 to walk in the door.
Yeah, in the nosebleeds, no less.
Mhm.
We have covered everything on the list,
Yeah,
so you know what that means.
I do.
It's time for.
It's time for an album review.
That is right. It's time for the weekly album review.
Yes. What do we got?
We got my pick this week. One of my top 5 albums of all time, probably. One day we'll have to do some lists like that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that'll be fun.
That'll be cool.
But Black Crowes, Shake Your Moneymaker.
Yeah.
Not a bad song.
Yeah, we were talking about
Not
the
a bad
other
song on
cover
the entire.
that's on here.
Yeah, this is actually how we got started on
Yep.
the cover thing.
Yep.
Before we started. But yeah, not a bad song on this entire album, in my opinion. And the first time I got this album, I got it at Best Buy, and it was the hard copy, and it had the bonus tracks on it.
Oh, cool.
One of which was a beautiful acoustic version of She Talks to Angels, where the piano is kind of the center piece
Yeah.
of the whole thing instead of the acoustic
I like
guitar.
when they do that. They arrange that.
And that's one of the best piano performances I've ever heard. I don't know who plays it. I remember it said in the liner notes. I just don't remember who it
And
was.
it's not on here.
It's
the,
not on this one that I have
Apple
on Apple Music.
Yeah.
No, you can find it on YouTube and stuff, and we may link to that as well. But that version is really, really good, and he sings it way different, which is cool.
This didn't come out in 1990 though.
Yeah.
It did.
It did. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Shit.
1990, this came out.
That seems later than I would have thought.
They kind of have that 80s vibe, don't they?
Yeah.
They wrote it in '89.
They kind of remind me of
recorded it in
Guns N'
89.
Roses in a way.
Yeah.
kind of toned down a little bit. Maybe
It's like
but-
the Rolling Stones thing a little bit.
Sure,
It's
absolutely.
and that's where Guns N' Roses gets a big part of their sound. So yeah, I get
Right.
it. It's all in that same.
I feel like you have all these bands, Rolling Stones, whatever else is up in that category,
Yeah.
and they influence all these other bands. And I feel like on one side you have Guns N' Roses that came out heavier, and on the other side you have the
Yeah,
Black Crowes that
right,
came out lighter.
exactly.
But they kind of got all the same influences.
exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, Twice as Hard, famous song. Jealous Again, famous song. Hard to Handle, their most famous song.
Yeah.
She Talks to Angels, their second most famous song. All 4 on this first album.
Yeah.
And a lot of their other stuff after this can be hit or miss. But
It's
Shake Your
Seeing
Moneymaker,
Seeing Things.
Seeing Things is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I also like Could I Have Been So Blind.
Yep.
But
This would be a great one to find at the record store and just buy it because I bet you get this record for like $3 or something like that if you get it used. Or like
Mhm. Yeah.
they just give that stuff away.
yeah,
I bet
exactly.
that'd be a good one.
But seriously, there's not a bad song on this album. There was like an entire school year in
Yeah.
high school. I spent just I had this CD in my car and I would just only ever listen to that.
yeah,
To the point that all my friends hated this album.
yeah, I got to listen to it because I'm not that familiar with it. I know that of course I know some of them on it, but I don't remember ever listening to it all the way through. So I need to do
Yeah.
that.
Fantastic.
Hell yeah,
Good example. And I talk about this all the time. Playing behind the beat, on top of the beat, or in front of the beat.
right? Pocket playing.
The She Talks to Angels, the drums. That's the best example I can think of playing behind
That's
the beat.
good. That's a good.
Listen
Yeah.
to particularly the snare, because it's, if you're imagining the click track,
Right.
which if I had to bet money, I would say they did not record to a click track, but they could have. You'll notice that the vibe of the song comes from the kick and the snare most of the time.
Yeah.
And in that example, She Talks to Angels, you're waiting on that snare drum
Mm-hmm.
just a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
It's a little late,
But it gives it a bit
but
of
the
a
kick and
feel.
the hats are all right where they should
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
But that snare is just a little behind
Yeah.
where that beat should fall, and it gives it this nice, lazy, relaxed
Right.
feeling
Exactly.
that so many great drummers do. And being able to control that and that not being an accident
Yeah.
is what makes you.
Yeah, I think there's lots of drummers
Some
like
of
that.
the
Like
best
Steven
drummers in the
Adler.
world.
I think Steven Adler kind of has. that
Adler
thing
did
where-
it, but that was absolutely an accident.
It's a swing. It's a swing thing that he had. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like, and I don't know Adler. Well, I know Adler probably better than other drummers, but I don't know him personally. I don't know
Right,
his-
right.
But from everything I've heard, he's not a fantastic drummer.
Well, yeah.
They took
So,
his second They took his second bass drum away from him. He was a double bass player.
Duff took all of his drums and hit him.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, where's my kids?" Like, "You don't need to do, just play." And like they started playing.
That's how they
That was
kept him
that was
calmed
the
down a
first
little
time they
bit.
got him over. But that's a great story. I love that.
Yeah,
I imagine doing that to some of the drummers I've been with, and it's like I would get punched.
yeah,
But yeah, I think anything Adler did that was awesome was probably an accident.
yeah. Well, I just think he had a feel thing, and it wasn't like the most technical
Absolutely,
stuff ever.
but
And he had this.
Here's what I'm arguing.
A
I don't
head
think
behind
Adler's
it.
sitting there going, "All right, on this song, I know what it needs. I'm going to play behind the beat."
I don't think
No,
he vocalized
no.
it ever. Probably
No.
never ever.
I don't
spoke
think
about it.
he mentalized it. I think he
He was
just
out-
did what he did, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
He was
That's
on
what I think.
heroin. He was just he thought he was
Riding
playing
it. He was
twice
just
as fast. He just-
Absolutely, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think he ever sat down and was like, "All right, so I'm gonna do a quarter note, eighth note here." And
No, definitely
No.
not.
He
Definitely
just did what he did, and it was magic, and that's just who he is.
and it
that's
worked,
why you
worked
can't
amazingly
replicate
for that
that
band.
sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. So it's the same.
However,
thing.
someone like Matt
playing
Sorum
some- yeah,
knows everything he's doing.
exactly.
He's gonna play behind the
He's
beat to
very
give it a
solid,
specific
yeah.
feel. He's gonna do it on purpose,
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you might get lucky and be Steven Adler, but most of the time you're gonna need to know what the fuck
Yeah.
you're doing.
Well, it's nothing's information is always better. Like,
Yeah.
don't ever think that like
Yeah.
knowing something is going to make you.
I hate
less,
the worst argument
Yeah, I
ever,
know.
and we talked about this on the Gary Gray podcast.
Yeah.
But the music theory thing, it's like, dude, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to learn music theory because it's gonna box me in.
Yeah.
Really? That's why you don't want to learn music. You don't want to learn music theory because you don't have
That's
the mental
just a good
capacity to learn
excuse.
music theory.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, that bugs me, especially as a teacher. Thoughts? Let's go around the room. I spoke a lot about this one. Matt, you're less familiar with it, I know.
This
but
is
I'd still like
this
to
is
know
not
what
my
you-
this
what
is
you
not my
think of
album,
the,
but Hard to Handle's always been like a fucking killer song. And
you know Twice
done
as
by-
Hard, right?
Not as well, probably.
Okay. It's one of their lesser hits.
I'd have to,
Smelling like a rose.
Yeah.
well, now I know it.
Little fingers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Me and
I'm
Kyle
gonna have to
tag
go back
teamed
and
it there.
listen into it for sure. But yeah,
Great song. We played that one
I
last
love
night.
the band. We saw Chris Robinson. I love this band.
Robinson's great.
as
Great.
far as the
And he
musicians
looks like
in it and
Jesus,
stuff,
so always a bonus.
Yeah.
A lot of turmoil between him and his brother in
Yeah.
this band
Yeah.
that caused a lot of issues and
Yeah.
breaking up to get back together and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. So
Chris Robinson, the singer, and Rich Robinson, the guitar player.
Kyle, any closing
Yeah,
thoughts,
Freddie Boy.
Kyle?
I love the Black Crowes.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen them several times. Some nights you get one of the best rocking shows you've ever seen. Sometimes you get a real jammy show from them where, they're going off that way. Seen Chris Robinson, Brotherhood.
Yeah, I remember you
We
telling me
saw
that
that.
before. Sometimes
Not a big
kind
fan of the Brotherhood. It's a
No,
little too,
a little too jammy. A little
too loose.
little
Right.
too-
There's not enough there for me to like grab onto.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like I
all
can
the-
only listen to so much like ambient guitar soloing before I'm like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm out, dude.
Right,
I do that in my basement all the time. It's fine.
right.
I don't
But
have a
yeah,
basement,
all
you know.
the records, solid as a debut. This one really,
Yeah.
at least 2/3 of it just completely.
Yeah, as a
rip it.
debut,
You know what I
especially.
mean?
That's
Right.
a good point.
First
Yeah, there's
record.
some ones you could overlook, like the three worst. I mean, that's a terrible word, but Thick and Thin, Strut and Blues, and Stare at Cold. But everything else
Is
solid, and even
Right.
those are great.
right.
They're just
right,
not
right.
as great.
We're splitting hairs here, right?
So, yeah,
Cool.
fantastic album. The Circle Jerk continues.
I'm all right with it. I don't want to. Like I said before, I don't really want to talk about albums if we're not.
And I think
About
that's,
'em, you
and as
know?
much shit as I give you, I think that's a great attitude because, the best thing you can do is if you don't like something, just don't like it. Just
Don't like it,
quietly
right.
don't like it. You
Because
don't have to
otherwise-
shit all over it.
Yeah,
You don't have to
piss
go on
people off.
YouTube. Like,
Yeah,
just do your thing.
that's right. Love instead of hate.
Yeah, I love it. And that's actually a great point. So I'm going to continue to bust balls, but not really mean it.
Sure.
I think it's time to
Yeah.
move on to the next segment. Here we go.
Solo of the week.
Solo of the week. Matt's pick. What you got, Matt?
Hell yeah. Captive Honor. Marty Friedman's solo at the end there is amazing. The song's great. Obviously heavy as hell.
Did you say
Solo.
Megadeth?
From Megadeth.
Megadeth. Did I say that? Sorry. I said Marty Friedman. I didn't
All right,
say
so the
Megadeth.
band is Megadeth. The song is Captive Honor.
Yeah.
The guitarist is Marty Friedman. Let's take a listen, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? Dallas here. You know what time it is. YouTube won't let us play the solo of the week here. So if you want to check it out, feel free to subscribe to us on iTunes or just search it on your own. Let's get back to the show. All right. Captive Honor, Megadeth, Marty Friedman.
Fuck yeah.
First thoughts.
Incendiary.
Matt, why'd you pick this one?
I love it. It sounds just so soulful and so crunchy. I love the tone that he's got going on there. It's just wild sounding. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know if soulful is the word I would use. Maybe, for me, aggressive, like
Mhm.
attack.
Yeah, you know those like double stop, like
yeah,
that
exactly,
shit
yeah.
right there feels soulful to me. Like
Really?
I love, I don't know
Okay.
why I feel it when that
I
shit.
feel more like biting, like attitude, mostly because of what's underneath it.
yeah,
If you were playing like a
Angry
slow
as hell,
blues
yeah.
underneath it or something, you maybe I would say soulful.
right.
Soulful to me kind of has a connotation of like BB King, John
Yeah.
Mayer, I think,
I
and
have
that's
an
just a
aggressive
personal
soul.
thing.
I have an aggressive soul, Dallas.
There you
That's
go.
what it is.
Your soul's back inside out. I got you. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, great solo, great song, great album. Sounds great.
Produced by did we
Max
say?
Norman.
Max Norman.
Max
Yeah,
Norman,
we
who's
were
done
just
a
looking
bunch
at
of rock and metal stuff. It looks like.
a lot of stuff. We've done Ozzy stuff, Y&T. What else do we see here? Sabotage, Armored Saint,
Oh, we did Ethan Brosh. Nice.
all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
Lynch Mob, Death
Um,
Angel.
Yeah, I mean, I think the solo had so much to kind of keep you interested.
Yeah, there's lots of like segments. I
It
felt
kind of
like.
goes through. Yeah,
It goes through little like
One thing I'll say is it's
Sections.
and this is true of a lot of metal solos, and it's not my favorite thing in the world, but you can tell it's very scripted.
yeah.
Um,
It's like thought out.
maybe some improvisation at the beginning, and I'm not taking anything away from Marty Friedman, who's a fantastic guitar player. Of
Absolutely.
course,
Yeah.
everyone knows that.
Yep.
But
It's very precision. It's
yeah,
like
but a lot
very-
of metal solos are let's write the whole solo and then play it, and that's cool. But I also love the element of even if you did write it,
Yeah.
I want it to
Little
feel
improv.
like you didn't.
Yeah.
Because that kind of feels a little more.
Like it flows.
honest to
Yeah,
me.
exactly. And there's
He's
spots
just
in
too
this
damn
where
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Got a lot of ideas he's got to get out.
So, best Megadeth guitarist. Go.
Yeah, absolutely. Marty Friedman.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah, it's
Oh, you're
Marty
saying Marty
Friedman.
Friedman?
Yeah, I mean, just
I
in
think
my
most people would
opinion,
agree. What do
in
you
my
think, Kyle?
opinion,
Each era had its own thing. Chris Poland, the first couple records had some great stuff. Marty Friedman on that era,
And
I
I
would
mean,
say
Chris
Marty Friedman.
Broderick is amazing.
But I love Chris Broderick, and I've
Kiko.
taken a few lessons from Chris Broderick, and he's a super cool guy.
Yeah, he's
so I-
shredder, but it's just
I have some loyalty to Chris, but
Sure. But it's just a Megadeth. For me, it's just about Megadeth, not necessarily about the guitarist itself.
Oh,
it's like
absolutely.
the guitarist
Yeah,
fit, that
absolutely.
fit Megadeth, really.
And-
And really, Dave Mustaine plays way more leads than you even
Yeah.
realize.
Yeah.
You know what I
Really?
mean? So,
Okay.
oh yeah,
Yeah, there you
He's-
go.
yeah.
yeah.
And it's mostly.
I know he's the riff god, but I
Yeah.
didn't know he was much of
Yeah,
a lead player.
he plays.
Well, James Hetfield's the riff god. Dave Mustaine wants to believe.
Well, I'm
he's
saying like
And
out of the Megadeth riff.
for sure,
he's the
Megadeth.
guy that writes
But
it.
yeah, but he plays probably 50% of the leads as it is anyway. So he plays a ton
Okay,
of leads.
okay.
And even if you watch some live videos, that'd be
Are they
And
as
Marty-
good overall?
Oh yeah, and especially when Marty's in the
They're probably
whatever's
similar,
about-
right? He's not as good of a guitar player as these guys.
We're
talking about, like, the
claims that
A-list players in
He
the
just
world.
uses the
Correct.
minor pentatonic scale and
Correct.
plays really fast.
But
That's
it
what he
fits
claims.
Megadeth
That's
well.
Okay.
what Dave Mustaine says himself.
Okay.
And then Marty's rhythms are so tight where when they're playing live and they're trading off and Marty's chugging the rhythms and Dave's playing the leads,
Exactly.
it works.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, and I would agree Marty's the best. Chris
So good.
Broderick, though, is such an insane musician. He was demonstrating. This is what blew my mind. He was demonstrating a open, like, tapping arpeggio pattern to me, and he played it up and down and he hit a wrong note, and he didn't stop, and he goes, "Oh well, there was the flat 9."
So he knew what note
He
it
knew
was.
what note he hit
Yeah.
wrong, and he knew what the sound of
Yeah.
that note was. You know, you play a bad note, you're like, "Oh, that was a bad note."
Yeah.
Nope, Chris knows
He
exactly
knows
what that
exactly
note was.
what it was, why it was wrong. Yeah, exactly.
And that right there is when I was like, "Okay, well,
That's
Yep.
knowledge. That's the knowledge right there.
yeah, that's a dedicated ear."
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to wrap up episode 12 here, guys? I felt like it was a fun episode. I like it
It
a
was
lot.
fun. Some good topics.
Closing thoughts. Let's go around the room.
I'm definitely gonna check out that Black Crowes record in more depth. for
Yep,
sure.
yep.
There was some other stuff we talked about. I'm gonna check out. Yeah, I love.
What
that
else did we
Megadeth
talk
record.
about that we were gonna check out?
The Darkness.
The Darkness
We
for
talked
me.
about the
That's my
Darkness.
homework. Yeah,
You
we
need
all
to
have a
check the
little homework.
Darkness
I think.
out for sure.
Yeah, I'll put that on my list to never do.
With all the other stuff.
It'll just go on the list that never gets done. No, that's not true. I will absolutely do it. Now,
Yeah,
because now it's funny because you guys say all this now, and last night I got all this from Foz, so it's like,
Right.
well, now I actually have to do
You
it.
do,
So-
Gavin. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like that song. It's really catchy.
And that album full of catchy songs.
Yeah.
really
What is it
well
called
written.
again? The album
Permission to
Permission to
Land.
Land.
Permission to Land. Denied.
They weren't denied. They were.
We
accepted.
talked a lot about money
Yeah.
and how to make money as a
Yes,
musician.
that Harry Myrie video. Everybody should check out because it was really good. What was it
Absolutely.
called? It was called. The video
it's
title
it's his latest video as of recording this, and it's about how much money he made.
Okay.
I think it might be called like how much money I made.
Yeah, something like that. It's very-
You'll know it.
Yep.
It's called
Yeah.
I don't have the exact
Go
title in
find
front
it.
of me,
Killer
but,
video.
yeah, watch the whole thing. 12 minutes. He talks. The actual part where he goes through how much money he made is very short.
Yeah.
But he talks a lot about what that means.
Yep.
And
His lifestyle and whatnot.
yeah,
so it's good.
and
It's a good.
it gives you
it's
some cool ideas on maybe what to
good perspective.
how to
Like
save
it.
some money, pinch some pennies,
Yep.
kind of thing. Yeah. Anything else, Kyle? Any closing?
Yeah,
thoughts?
fun night. Black Crowes certainly one of my favorites. So
Yeah.
that was cool on the
Yeah.
album review and Megadeth, obviously Marty Friedman. So that was a nice little.
Yeah. And that's 35
Segment
years today or something.
No,
like that.
The
coming
band
up.
the band is 35 years this year.
band-
When
is
did that
35
album
years.
come out? You said 87, or
Talking
was that 85?
about Countdown came in 92.
92. Yeah. Early 90s.
92 was Countdown. That song Captive Honor came from 92.
Yeah.
The album was released.
And then
Or
that's-
91. It was 91 or 92.
Yeah, and I think that anniversary's coming up. I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're promoting the hell out of that on
Well,
all the social media.
it's the
stuff.
35th anniversary of Megadeth.
Okay.
Megadeth's formed
But
in
why
83.
is Countdown to Extinction the one? Where are we at on that? It's got to be because it's 92. So we're 2018.
Oh, Countdown was 92.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing a special 35th anniversary celebration
was
right
Rust
now.
in Peace right before Countdown?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, see,
was
that's my
90.
favorite one.
That was 90.
Rest in peace.
I feel like that's a lot of people's favorite, but then that's because usually the bands that I'm not like super into, I like the same stuff that everyone else
right.
likes. So,
Yeah, it's like the main stuff.
like Holy Wars and
the stuff everybody agrees
what's
on.
What's the
Take
real,
no prisoners.
the really big Megadeth
Tornado
song?
of
What's their
Souls
most
is
famous
awesome.
one?
Probably Peace Cells. Maybe. I mean, if everybody thinks about.
No, their most famous one was on Guitar Hero, I think.
Oh, you're talking about Symphony for Destruction.
Yeah, I don't like that one very
Yeah.
much.
And then I
That's the
like
one I
Skin on
said.
My Teeth.
Not a fan. I
That's
like a lot of
that's all
Megadeth
this
shit, though.
record, by the way. That's all Countdown.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's all from that record.
Nice. Symphony of Destruction was on that
Mhm.
one? Okay, cool.
Second song on it.
Awesome. Well, there's our Megadeth history for today. A lot of metal stuff today.
I like it.
A lot of metal stuff.
I'm on a
All right,
metal
cool.
kick lately.
Well, we'll be back next week, you guys, with a killer interview. Can't tell you who, although super pumped about it.
Yes.
So, yeah, get excited for that. And we'll see you soon. Dallas Dwight signing off.
Hell yeah. See you guys.
You got to
All right.
sign off.
I got to sign off?
You got to say Matt Tolley signing off.
All right. I'll click the button right now. Sign out.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Click.
Hey guys! First of all, thank you so much for listening. If you could please take a quick moment to subscribe on iTunes and leave a rating and review. Your feedback seriously is really important and it helps us keep the show alive.
Check out musicianstalkshow.com to sign up for our mailing list. If you do, we're going to send you our main theme song and a few other surprises. Plus, you'll always be the first to know what episodes are coming up.
If you want to help support the show so we can keep putting out the highest quality content possible, please follow the Support the Show link at our website and consider donating to our Patreon page.
Lastly, if you have an idea for a guest or a question you want to discuss, contact us through any of the contact forms on our website, and we'll do everything we can to make it happen.
Whew, all right, that was a lot, but we got through it. Thanks again, guys, and we will see you soon.